This news is literally hot off the press. Another brand new OBS plugin is now available and every single one of you need to download it, like right now. In this video, we will take a deep dive into the feature-packed Composite Blur OBS plugin. The plugin has so many features and effects that it will pretty much blow your mind. Trust me. Watch the entire video and by the end of it, I can guarantee you'll be blurring like a pro. So stick around, hit those like and subscribe buttons and let's get blurry, baby. Put your rocket for the stone. This video is not sponsored, but I wanted to inform you that I have opened commissions for one-to-one support on my Kofi page. You can join me on a video call and I can use my expert knowledge to assist you with OBS, StreamUP and all that jazz, so you can create the best possible streams. Find out more with the link below. Let's get busy with a blur. The Composite Blur plugin, developed by FiniteSingularity, is a comprehensive tool that provides a wide variety of blur effects and features. Essentially, it's like the Swiss Army knife of blurring, but without any sharp edges.
Call that a knife? This is a knife.
The best part is that you don't need a state-of-the-art supercomputer to run it, as they are highly optimized to maximize performance. It also works on Windows, macOS and Linux. As of writing this video, it is only available through FiniteSingularity's GitHub, but he has uploaded it to the OBS forums and it's currently awaiting approval. Under the Assets tab, just select your platform. If you need a hand installing OBS plugins, then I'll leave some links below to help you out. There are 4 different blur algorithms available, each with its own set of settings. These blurs have been designed with a focus on achieving optimal performance while also providing fine controls that allow you to create smooth animations using Exceldro's Move plugin for OBS. Each blurring algorithm will have different types available, which I will be explaining in more detail what they do a little later on in the video. Gaussian blur is a high quality blur effect that produces a smooth result using image data from neighboring pixels. However, increasing the blur radius can impact performance. There are 4 different types of Gaussian blur that offer different looks and feels. There is area, directional, zoom, and motion. Each type has a blur radius setting to control the strength of the blur. Box blur works similarly to Gaussian blur, but it uses fewer neighboring pixels than Gaussian for an equivalent amount of blur. This makes it a very efficient blurring technique. The passes setting determines the number of passes applied. Setting it to 1 shows distinct box shapes, hence the name. Increasing it to 2 gives a similar effect to Gaussian blur, and increasing passes even further provides a higher quality blur. Box blur can use 4 different types of blur: area, directional, zoom, and tilt shift. Each type also has a blur radius setting to control the strength of the blur. Dual Kawase blur is a high quality and resource efficient blur method. Typically, this method produces big jumps in blur when the blur amount is increased, as the amount of blur doubles each time. However, FiniteSingularity sacrificed a small amount of efficiency for the sake of smoother, continuous changes in the blur amount. Dual Kawase blur is often used when a very high blur radius is required. Only the area blur type is available for Dual Kawase, and there is only 1 setting for the blur radius. My personal favorite function in this blur plugin is Pixelate. It does exactly what it says on the tin. Takes an area of pixels and downsamples them, thus pixelating the image. You can select the pixelate type, which determines the shape of the pixels. Currently, there are 4 options: square, hexagon, circle, and triangle. For each shape, you can also select the pixel size, which has smooth incremental values that pair well with the Move OBS plugin. There are 5 different types of blur that offer varying styles depending on which blur algorithm you use. Area is the standard type of blur that equally blurs pixels in all directions. It is the most commonly used type of blur and is available for all 4 blur algorithms. The directional blur effect is only applied along one angle, creating a streaking effect. The available setting allows you to adjust the direction angle. This feature is available both in Gaussian and box blur algorithms. The zoom blur is applied away from a center point and becomes more intense the further away from the center it is. The available setting allows you to adjust the center point. This blur type is available for both the Gaussian and box blur algorithms. Motion blur is similar to directional blur, but it is applied only in the positive direction angle. You can adjust the direction angle using the available settings as well. Motion blur is only available for the Gaussian blur algorithm. Tilt shift blur allows you to select a linear location on a source to focus on, and then adjust the angle and the thickness of the focused area. This increases the amount of blur the further away from the focused area. This effect can create a distorted sense of scale, making large objects appear like miniature models. There are 3 settings that can be adjusted: location, angle, and thickness. Please note though that tilt shift is only available with the box blur algorithm. If you need to blur a complicated shape, such as when using NVIDIA background removal and wanting to only blur yourself, the background source for compositing option is perfect for you. By selecting another OBS source, you can assist the blur algorithms in blending the appropriate colors. Normally, applying a blur to your cutout will result in a dark halo around you as the blur tries to blend in blank space. However, setting the source to whatever background you have will eliminate this issue and create a smooth appearance. When using this feature, ensure that the blurred source and the background have the same aspect ratio and scale. Otherwise, the results might not meet your expectations. It is worth noting that at the time of writing this, there is a bug that requires the blending method of the source to be set to sRGB off if it is currently cropped in OBS. This amazing blur plugin even has built-in masking. Masking allows you to choose where and how the blur effect is applied to your selected source and then gives you a checkbox to invert the selected area or not. There are 5 different options available. Crop works exactly as you would expect it to. You can trim the top, bottom, left, and right of the blur to choose where you want the blur to occur on the selected source. There is even an option to adjust the corner radius, which will give the cropped area smooth, rounded corners. Rectangle works similarly to crop, but with a different input method. Instead of trimming the edges of the blur, you can select the height and width of a rectangle and specify where the center of the rectangle should be. This method has smooth input values, making it easier to use with plugins like the Move OBS plugin. The circle function works in the same way as rectangle, but uses a circle as the shape. You can adjust the center point of the circle and its size as necessary. The source option enables the use of another OBS source or scene as a mask for the blur effect. There are 4 masking options available: the selected source's alpha channel, grayscale value, luminosity, and a custom selection of RGBA values. You can then multiply the mask by a value, which is useful if you have translucent sources but want the image behind them to be blurred. The image option works in the same way as the source option, but it lets you use a local image instead of a source that is currently in OBS. As this is the most powerful blurring method in OBS, I will no longer be using stream effects or shader filters for my blur effects. Therefore, I am updating the StreamUP DSK Blur product that allows you to easily use a semi-transparent source scene to dynamically blur the background of your current scene to this new plugin starting today. This product is completely free and I will leave a link to it down below. Additionally, the Composite Blur plugin will be added to the StreamUP OBS plugin update checker that I created so you never miss a future update. Finally, I will also add it to the recommended plugins list so you can easily download it via the StreamUP plugin installer. We can all agree that the possibilities with the new Composite Blur plugin are pretty much endless. However, it's important to remember that with great blurring power comes great responsibility.
What?
Avoid setting silly blur radii with the Gaussian blur option and everything should be fine. There are many options in this plugin, so experiment until you find the perfect one for your particular use case and current hardware specifications. FiniteSingularity has put so much love and effort into this plugin, so please head over to his Twitch stream at twitch.tv/FiniteSingularity and let him know Andi sent you. If you love this plugin and this video helped you out, please smash those like and subscribe buttons to help me out and stay up to date on the latest news and incredible OBS plugins, such as my OBS plugin checker. This tool easily allows you to check for OBS plugin updates and update them effortlessly. To learn more, just click up here. I'll see you over there. I've been Andi. Put your rock over the stone.